Is it too late? Is our marriage, is our relationship past the point of repair? I get asked this question quite a bit, and oftentimes it happens before the people even show up on this couch. It happens during the initial phone consultations, where I have my initial conversation with each one of in the couple, and they will ask some version of that question, right? Based on what you're hearing, based on where we've been and what we've been through, is this salvageable? Is this, can we get ourselves out of this? And so in today's video, I want to share with you what my answer is to that question. If in fact you are sitting with your spouse in that very same spot, wondering the same question, looking at the last 2 years, the last 12 years, the last 25 or 35 years, wondering, have we created too much damage? Have we dug too big of a hole, right? Where you don't have a way to get back out of it, right? Or it feels that way. And so here's what I tell these people. And this is what I want to tell you if you're asking yourself this question. As a professional, as someone who's gone through my own or our own marriage stuff in our marriage with my husband, and someone who's walked with couples day in, day out for the last 12 years, this is my answer to that. And this is aside from the fact that there may very well be some number of collected issues or problems or ways of behaving that you two need to change, and you might need new skills to do that. You might need new insights. You might need to change what you're doing, change how you're learn how to do life in a different way. You might need to be and start with this, right? Being willing to own what you need to own and listen in a different way. All of that, I'm not minimizing or ignoring the work that would need to happen and that needs to happen, period. It doesn't, it's not that simple, right? It's not just, here's if you do this one thing, all of the rest of it will take care of itself. It will not take care of itself. I don't know how many times I say this. You too need to take care of it or the things, right? All of them, the whole list. So just know that before you hear my answer. But this is what it boils down to. And it doesn't matter. I've said this to newly married couples that came and were, right, kind of freaking out and going, what have we gotten ourselves into? I've said this to couples that have by now had 2 or 3 or 5 kiddos at home, and all of a sudden we're like, what, how did we get here? How is this bad? How is it that we don't seem to be able to talk about anything anymore, or whatever it may be? If you are the couple that's like, we want to create an atmosphere in our home where we, right, the couple that you are, and our children and anybody that walks in, where they don't have to feel like there's tension so thick that you can cut through it, right? Or where you don't feel like you have to walk on eggshells day in, day out. If you two want and will put and I'm imagining this, right, as sort of the huddle, like getting down on a chair, putting 2 chairs right in front of each other, right, and kind of meeting each other with your foreheads, like doing the powwow style, right? If you two are on the same page and are aware of, yes, there's going to be some work, there's going to be some things that we're going to have to do that are uncomfortable, that we've never done, or that we don't even hardly know what those things would be, but that's why we would get help. But if you two sit down and agree that this marriage of yours, that this relationship of yours is worth saving, that you want to make it work, that you want to make it better so that you both can live your lives in a connectful and supported and loving way, right? If you two agree that this is what, sort of in a come hell or high water way, right? Like we're doing this because we believe in this marriage, we believe in this family, we want, this is important, and it's too important to not pay attention to. It's too important to let go of. It's too important, no matter what the collection of things from the past may look like, we still believe and we still desire for this to be the best marriage that it can be. If you two are on the same page about that, hear me when I say this, there's no stopping you. There's no stopping you, because you're gonna be willing and ready to overcome any of the things that come up, any of the obstacles, any of the hardships, any of the hard conversations. It's gonna be like, we have this thing, we're looking at it, we're looking at the same thing together, right? That's like in the same direction, and we're on fire. We may have abandoned, we may have ignored these things for, like I said, 1 decade or 2 or 5. It doesn't matter. But at this point, this is what we've decided that we're doing. This is where we want our family to move towards, or our relationship, our marriage to get to. And it, like, if that's where you, that's the only, and maybe not the only, but the first and the most important prerequisite as far as I'm concerned. And if you have that, there's no stopping you from saving your marriage. There's no stopping you from walking yourselves back and realizing where you failed, where you didn't show up for one another in the way that you should have, or you could have, right? Realizing all the things that where you acted out of, I didn't know any better, and now I know, and I'm going to change. I'm going to change the way that I approach you. I'm going to change the way that we have these kinds of conversations. I'm going to change the way that I ask for things. I'm going to change the way that I listen to you when you ask me for things. If you two get to that place, there's no stopping you. And I say this in several places on my website, but if you two come, by all means, I don't want to be the person that's going to say, like, I don't want to be the one stopping you, right? I want to be there to help. I want to be there to support you through that process. I want to be there to support you and get you the insights and the wisdom and the tools and the tricks and all the things, right? The advice that many of us never got, right? And we kind of just went on this trip around the world, so to speak, right? With no map, no GPS, no understanding of culture, no, like, all, just put it all in, it was there. And so you two decide, you two get on the same page, you two agree that this is what you want, and this is how you, like, this is where you want to get. There's no stopping you. You can walk yourselves back from anything, literally anything. And if you are in that place and you already decided, and you're like, okay, what's the first thing that we can do? Is there, right, like, what would be the first step? I have a video where I talk about my most common, most often repeated relationship tool that I share with my couples, and I'll share with you, and if that's of interest to you, I invite you to watch that video, and I'll see you inside of it.